All right, let's dive in. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the motorcycle and see what really makes these incredible machines tick. You know that feeling, right? You're sitting at a light, you hear that deep rumble next to you, and you just wonder, what is actually going on inside that thing? Well, it's this amazing mix of controlled explosions and pure mechanical genius. And today, we're going to figure it all out.
So, to really get it, we've got to start at the very beginning. Every single bike, and I don't care if it's a cruiser or a sport bike, is built around two absolutely fundamental parts. This is the core anatomy of the machine.
Okay, first up, you've got the frame. The easiest way to think about it is like the bike's skeleton. It's the central structure, usually made of steel or aluminum, and its job is to hold everything. The engine, the tank, you, all of it together, and keep things stable when you're flying down the road. It's the unsung hero of the entire bike, for sure.
And if the frame is the skeleton, then the engine, well, that's got to be the heart. No question. This is where all the action happens. It's what we call an internal combustion engine, which is really just a fancy way of saying it's designed to burn fuel to create all the power that shoots you down the freeway.
All right, so we have a heart, but how does it actually beat? Let's follow that journey of power, from a tiny little spark all the way to a spinning wheel. This is how a hunk of metal and a little bit of gasoline literally come alive.
You see, most motorcycle engines are doing this constant, super fast, four-step dance. It's this beautiful, powerful little cycle that's repeating thousands of times every single minute. So let me show you how that dance works.
And here it is, the four-stroke cycle. First, you've got intake, where a piston drops down and sucks in a mix of fuel and air. Next up, compression. The piston shoots back up, squeezing that mixture super tight. Third, and this is the big moment, power. A spark plug ignites everything, boom! That explosion violently shoves the piston down, and that is the force that moves the bike. And finally, exhaust. The piston comes back up and pushes all the used-up gases out. This whole thing happens ridiculously fast, creating a smooth, continuous flow of power.
So how does that boom actually get you moving down the road? Well, that up and down piston motion turns something called a crankshaft. That spinning power then goes into the transmission, the gearbox. From there, a chain and some sprockets take over, carrying that power all the way to the back wheel, and bam! The wheel spins and you're moving forward. It's a straight line of energy from a tiny explosion to actual speed.
Okay, so the bike has its power, but it's just a machine without a rider, right? So this next part is all about the interface, how you connect with it and tell it exactly what you want it to do.
Think of this as your command center. Your right hand, that's your throttle. You twist it to go faster. And it's also your front brake. Your left hand is all about the clutch lever, which you need to pull in to change gears. And then down at your right foot, that's your rear brake. See? Every limb has a job, and they all have to work together to give you total control.
And of course, it's not just about go and stop. You've got the handlebars for steering, obviously, the suspension, which is super important for soaking up bumps and keeping your ride smooth, and then the seat and the foot pegs. They're all about putting you in that perfect, comfortable position to be in command of the road.
Okay, let's get just a little bit technical for a second. When you're looking at a bike's details, you're going to see all these terms thrown around: CC, torque, ABS. They can sound kind of intimidating, but trust me, they're actually pretty simple ideas that tell you a ton about a bike's personality. Let's break them down.
First one you'll always see is CC, which stands for cubic centimeters. Honestly, all this is a measurement of the engine's size. It tells you the total volume inside those cylinders where that four-step dance is happening. It's the quickest way to get a general feel for how much power an engine could have.
And trust me, that size makes a huge difference. A smaller bike, say around 150cc, is going to be awesome for getting around town. Super efficient, really easy to handle. But then you jump to a 650cc bike, now you're talking about a much bigger engine that's built for higher speeds and some serious acceleration. So the general rule is pretty simple. More CC usually means more power.
Okay, next up is torque. Now, if CC is about the engine's size, think of torque as its raw strength. It's that twisting, pulling force. A bike with a lot of torque gives you that awesome acceleration right from a dead stop. It's also what makes it easier to carry a passenger or cruise up a steep hill. It's that grunt you feel the second you twist the throttle.
How the engine gets its fuel has changed a lot, too. Older bikes use these things called carburetors. They're totally mechanical, pretty simple devices. But pretty much all modern bikes use fuel injection. This is a smart, computer-controlled system that delivers the perfect amount of fuel at the perfect time. And the result? The bike is way more efficient.
more powerful, and a lot cleaner for the environment.
And finally, let's talk about a huge safety feature, ABS. This stands for Anti-Lock Braking System, and it is a total lifesaver. What it does is, if you slam on the brakes really hard, it keeps the wheels from locking up and sending you into a skid. It kinda pulses the brakes super fast so you can still steer out of trouble. It's one of the biggest leaps forward in rider safety, without a doubt. Okay, so we've looked at the skeleton, the heart, the controls, and all the tech specs. Now for the really fun part, seeing how mixing and matching all these different pieces creates bikes with totally different personalities.
And that's really the key takeaway here. You can start with the same basic parts, a frame, an engine, 2 wheels. But whether you end up with a lazy, long-distance cruiser or a sharp, nimble city bike, well, it all comes down to how you put those pieces together.
Just look at these examples. You've got the Harley-Davidson Iron 883. It's an iconic cruiser, right? Big, beefy engine with tons of that torque we talked about, made for just chilling out and riding. Then on the complete opposite end, you've got the KTM Duke 390. It's super lightweight, has a smaller engine that loves to rev high. It's perfect for slicing through city traffic. And then there's the BMW GS Adventure, a totally different animal. This thing is built like a tank, with heavy-duty suspension, ready to take on any road or, no road at all.
And the list just goes on and on. You have bikes like the Honda CB500X or the Yamaha R15 that give you this great blend of sporty fun and everyday reliability. Or you could go for something like the Royal Enfield Classic 350, which is all about a different vibe. That cool, retro style, and a simple, timeless ride.
So here's the bottom line. The most crucial point to remember, a motorcycle isn't just a random pile of parts. It is a finely tuned system. The engine's character, the frame's shape, the suspension's capability, every single piece works together to create a specific feeling, a specific purpose, a specific ride.
And that really brings us to the final question. Now that you understand the building blocks, you know about CC and torque, frames and suspension, what matters most to you? If you were going to build your perfect ride, what would it be for? Pure speed? Total comfort? Epic adventure? Or just incredible style? The possibilities are as wide open as the road ahead.